Hello everybody, my name is Sampo and we are back with the Miraculous reviews. Surprisingly, Season 6 hasn't been out yet, but in this place we do have the Miraculous World Special. Again, last time we did was Paris and it was an alternate universe in a way, where the good guys became the bad guys and the bad guy became the good guy and all that stuff, all that jazz. And it was actually really good and a lot of fan service, honestly. And in this one, in London, now here's the thing, I'm just gonna say it outright right now. It is the least action-packed out of the world specials, but in my opinion, it's still pretty good, but it's more so on the story between the time skip in the season finale of season 5. Because if you guys remember, in season 5, Gabriel, spoilers, sacrificed himself to basically revive Emily in a way, somehow, basically. But it's basically by the wish between the Ladybug and the cat Miraculous. But in this one, we get more information on what he actually wished for, and it's basically what I said before. Everything kind of turned back to normal before the way it was, and yeah, just kind of about it. Natalie got better, Emily's back, but we don't see Emily in this episode, in this special. Now, again, this whole special took place in between the time skip from the wish that he made to basically where everything was hunky-dory. And I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of, the tone in this is much more sad, depressing, and you can technically feel it thanks to the music and of course the actions of some of the characters. And the animation has improved a lot, and I'll go through that later, but here's just a quick recap of the episode. Of course, I meant to say special. So we start off basically somewhere underground, and we see this whole table with some of these gadgets and boxes, and we have Nuru here with the Butterfly Miraculous. So somebody got the Miraculous here, and later we see that it's just this mysterious person. Now this is the enemy that we are going to be facing throughout this special, and I'm gonna be honest with you, if you guys just look carefully at this person, I think it's kind of obvious who it is, right? And if we see this underground section, we've seen it before, and with the context clues, I think we all know who actually took the Butterfly Miraculous. And I'll show you the reveal later because it's revealed to us earlier, but the name was never been said. So I'm just assuming here, but I think it's very likely that it's gonna be, well, is this person. But I'm betting right now, because of the context of this underground place, unless they reuse an asset, which sometimes they do, most of the time they do. But I'm betting that this is Lila, only because of a few things. One is the skin color. It's almost exactly the same, but again, the eyebrows. Why would... No, it's just the eyebrows. Now the hair is different, and it was just a way to actually like get us off track, basically, because this is not a hair color we've seen like Lila have. But I'm betting it's Lila. It's not confirmed in either way, but with context clues right here, I think it is, and it makes the most sense that it was Lila. Now, when in the timeline was this Lila at? I don't know. I forgot to mention, there's a lot of time travel shenanigans here, but don't worry. We do start off the intro for the world specials, right? And they usually always have a specific orchestral version. I cannot speak. I'm sorry, but it's very good. And as you can see here, Marinette's actually pretty sad, and the reason why is it kind of makes sense on to why. And if you guys don't, did it happen before? I think in Paris it never actually happened, right? Because in Paris it was the gabrielagreste rendition of the main theme. I'm assuming they did. Just remind me if I was wrong, but I think Paris and this special Marinette's only sad here, and that's just because of what happened during the ending of season 5, and that was about it. And it was actually a pretty good touch. I had not noticed this before, but rewatching it for the second time, yeah, pretty much. And you know what time it is. Since I did say there was going to be time travel here, we have to have Alex, right? We all have to have Alex here. Now, the scene here is just basically Alex from our present day is playing 4D chess. I think this is what 4D chess actually is. I'm assuming, of course, with her future self. And of course, they're just playing each other. It's kind of a little unfair once you think about it, because your future self would already know what your past self does. So kind of an unfair advantage. I don't know who actually agreed to this, but I guess so. You have to do something in the past of time in this world, right? Of course, we do have an introduction to a new, quote-unquote, new character. It's, well, we have future Alex, also known as future Bunnix, and of course, we do have the confirmation of the ages that these characters are now. And, well, to say it lightly, first off, the introduction of the future character, it kind of makes sense, because you have the past, technical, present, and future, but it's more like the present than the future and the future, which I guess depending if you were from future Bunnix's standpoint, that would make the most sense, but it's kind of weird why. Oh yeah, confirmation of the ages. Apparently, right now, the canonical age is 15 for our current Alex, the modern, present time Alex, the short one. And that's actually kind of interesting, because for one thing, a few years already have passed, so I would assume that Alex was already 17. But that's kind of strange as well, because in the English dub specifically, they spent to be high schoolers and going to college in terms of English dub, because the ages for both the French and like the French dub and the other dubs, depending on what dub you're watching, I think it's only the English dub that actually changes their ages, just to be more fair, I guess. I don't know what the right word would be, but it's not exterior. I don't think there's any right word for it, but if last time, basically, she was supposed to be like either 16 and then maybe 17 or 18 right about now, which is kind of the same age as for other characters, but since Alex is 15, according to this special, that would mean that the canonical age is 15, which kind of doesn't actually make a lot of sense once you think about it, because at least 2 birthdays has passed for our main characters. So knowing that these kids are actually starting middle school in like 12, like the European equivalent of a middle/high school at 12, is a bit weird to say the least, but I don't know. But of course, future Alex is 21. To be honest, I guess I can make sense with that. But the future self is about 70. That's a huge gap in time. Of course, something happened to the time stream. Both the future and future Bunnix are disappearing to thin air, and it's all just present Bunnix right now. And of course, if present Bunnix is still here, that means something really happened to her. And since those two already existed, that means that she would already succeed. But of course, we already know the destination. Something's gonna be solved, but it's the journey again, not the destination, and that's what the show goes for at this point. So yeah, something that for formulaic show, you would just need a good like progression to go there. So every time basically she was trying to find what actually happened in the time stream, but every time she tries to, she scrolls forward a bit too fast, and then everything is blank. And once the screen goes black, that means that the timeline section of that part is over, and she only has limited tries to do it, so she has to be careful basically. So but yeah, time is going to disappear, and the universe is doom, the end of time is coming, basically. High stakes, which is good. Yeah. We gone back to present day, and yeah, in present day, this is actually pretty weird. So this is the what's the isolation room, I guess. The isolation cells that both Adrien and Kagami were in season 8. Season 8. Damn, I'm going too far ahead. Season 5, I'm sorry. But everything is not really going good as it seems, as this is directly right after the fight against Gabriel and Gabriel's wish. She just looks depressed here, and to be honest, if you see a person and a dead corpse just disappear right in front of you, like forever, that's gonna scar you, honestly. But right now, she's just thinking of how she's gonna try to talk to Adrien and of course the whole world about it, basically. And right now, she's gonna try to free Kagami and Adrien. For Kagami, it was just basically both somber. Kagami does kind of understand what Ladybug's going through. And the thing is that Ladybug did tell Kagami that her mother was an accomplice to Gabriel / Monarch / HawkMoth, whatever their name is, basically. She's taking it pretty well, considering that she knows how her mother works. It will be just until her mother would tell her, and that's kind of about it. As for Adrien, they're discussing about this, and Ladybug has to basically tell him something, but not to hurt his feelings in a way. And Kagami knows that this is out of Marinette's love for Adrien, but to me personally, I do think it's more so because Gabriel told Marinette about what he wishes for her to tell Adrien, just like not him as a villain or a bad person, just how of a good father he is, and that's she's just respecting his wishes, which is good. But considering that his redemption was at the last second and it did do good, he did have a change of heart. He was quote-unquote redeemed in terms of the show's standards, but in terms of his old character arc, I don't think he actually truly deserved it, because it had to come from him, which would be more impactful, because this would just be you putting the blame onto somebody else, and goddamn, it's gonna be Ruby all over again, isn't it? Of course, Ladybug lied, fibbed of Gabriel being a hero, stopping Monarch, and basically like that she was painfully hurt and blah 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 like that. And you can see that Kagami, she already knows his BS, right? But Adrien and the bodyguard. Oh yeah, the reason how she got in here, she didn't destroy the door. The bodyguard actually found Ladybug, but then he opened the door for her, which is actually pretty nice. MVP, the bodyguard. But yeah, it was just a white lie, as you would say, like a small fib. No, it's a very big fib. But of course, Adrien doesn't really want to see Ladybug because of all that. He did complain about everything, right? He's just upset. Father gone. That's about it. He lost a father. He lost a mother. Like, goddamn, what's gonna happen here next? I mean, who knows, right? But after that, Kagami does comfort Adrien, and Ladybug takes her time to leave. We do have a little montage of Ladybug destroying the remnants of Monarch, basically the pods that were holding the Kwame, the casket, the empty casket where Emily used to rest in peace, and she destroyed the bridge, so nobody can get to that evidence anymore. And that whole section is now blocked off, basically. And of course, finding Natalie here, she actually hugs her right here, just knowing that she is safe. We do get more context onto why they're kind of closer now later in the special, so just hang on tight. Of course, when Ladybug gets interviewed through the public, right, she has to basically lie to everybody who Gabriel is and blah yada yada. And this is basically more context as to why there's a giant, huge golden statue of Gabriel in the park at the end of season 5's time skip, and that is because of this. She just told a very big lie, and knowing that we know about the time skip, she is never gonna tell the truth anytime right now. Maybe until season 6 comes out, but like that's neither here or there. We do get back home, Marinette's asleep, the Kwamis are there to rest up as well. All the Kwamis are safe for now. Ladybug actually asks, Plag and Tiki, just did she do the right thing about lying to everybody? And the thing is, and of course Tiki says, which is pretty truthful, honestly, it makes sense that none of them are the Kwami of truth, because there is no Kwami of truth. So having their own opinion is not exactly the truth. It's just what they think is the right thing to do, which is not very good advice. Because to be honest, if Marinette needs a truthful answer, they can't really give it to her, which is understandable. And then later that night, the whole world is going to get blown up, and of course, in that time, Marinette got saved by Bunnix, our Bunnix, our Alex. And then she just fills her in through everything right now. As you can see here, Marinette's not wearing yellow. That's because Bunnix gave her a yellow vest, just in case if they have to see another Marinette just to be safe. Because, we have to know which ones are Marinette. I would assume that our Marinette currently would look a tiny bit different because the animation style is a tiny bit different. Her model is a bit different, so I think maybe subtle, changes of her model design to what she looked like a few years back in our time, or in her case like maybe 2 years ago. But hey, it's okay, because little kids are not going to know which Ladybug is Ladybug, right? I did forget to mention that Ladybug does not have her Miraculous anymore because they all got stolen. I forgot to mention that. I guess it wasn't too important because we had this scene here. So this scene, this is technically reused animation from the season 1 finale, which is the origins, which is actually pretty neat when all things considered. And you can see that the animation style here is the same as from the previous episode. Once you see Marinette actually laid in throughout this whole special, not counting these flashback moments, the animation for her is pretty much different, and the details is pretty much different as well. It's kind of surprising how they actually meshed the two models, basically, or two slightly different animation style. I don't know if you will count 3D models as different animations. It could just be there's a few different models, but hey, I'm not really an animator. I kind of know my stuff, but I don't want to get anything wrong here. I'm just saying what I think is right. I know it's not exactly right, but I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, since our Marinette does not have the Miraculous, they had to go back in time to basically get the Miraculous from when she never actually had them before. And that's basically when Marinette believes that she was not a superhero. Really. And I mean, time moves differently, but I guess it fits the time, honestly. Time is a weird thing, messy too, we just got to accept it. Now this is the Tiki from the past, and she kind of accepted this whole thing basically, and now they're gonna use her to save the world, universe, timeline, whatever timeline and universe is, because to be honest, it seems like time and the whole universe is in one entity. Makes sense. I guess, yeah, this show does run in a singular timeline, right? But this is where I kind of question Time Blazer, that episode where it's not exactly a linear timeline anymore. Oh well. Ladybug transforms and we get this suit. Even Marinette here says, is it a bit too flashy? And to be honest, I would assume so. I thought it would be a reference to the yellow variant of the Ladybug. I think the yellow, if you guys remember the yellow Ladybugs you can find in the real world, I think there are different subspecies of Ladybug or beetle. But it's a neat reference, honestly, and it is in her guardian state, just slightly a little different. The yellow is a bit tacky in all things considered, but to be honest, you start to grow on it. I do kind of hate how it's white spots and not black spots. Like maybe, but I guess maybe it makes sense that it will be white spots because it clashes with the black outing a little bit more. I mean black spots, but then you have yellow and white, which I don't know why they have white in to begin with. But the reason why she's like this is because just to differentiate herself from the normal Ladybug. Also, since this is our current Ladybug, basically transforming with a past version of Tiki, I guess there's some leeway for that, but it's never been explained because why would it be explained? Trust me, it was a little hard to actually get this screenshot because it happened a bit fast for my computer. But yeah, this is technically the same person. I'm gonna spoil it right now. This guy, he looks a she. Okay, it's a she. We all know it's a she. She looks different from her two other variants because she had two different powers basically, and how they work, well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna spoil you right now so I don't need to talk about it later. She has her normal civilian form, which we all know is gonna be like Lila, but you know, she bleached her hair for some reason. She has the other ability where she can hop through time, go to a point in time, and then take notes, and then she reads those notes. So the modern her version when she, you know, de-transformed. Because here's the thing, if you get akumatized and you de-transform from akumatization, you do not remember a single thing, and that is almost in continuity except for the fact that Lila remembers everything, and Chloe and HawkMoth. I don't know why, but that is technically true for every single person besides those three. Yeah, Gabriel, Lila, and Chloe. I don't know why I struggle with that. I just said their names, so okay. But like, yeah, it's a very big inconsistency, which is almost true, like 90% true, but you have the exceptions who can remember. But this is Lila, and if this is Lila, she should have remembered everything, right? But hey, I don't know. But yeah, well, that's neither here or there. And this when I said that, it kind of ruined the whole special. I mean, to be honest, it was pretty cool and very emotional, but like just knowing that this can all be solved because this all could just end in an instant because this is maybe possibly Lila. I know it's Lila because of context clues, okay? I don't know, it's not confirmed, but I'm just assuming here that if she remembers stuff already beforehand, why does she need a notebook now? And I'll show you guys the notebook later, but right now, at this point in the scene, I'm sorry for the rambling there, she's trying to take the Miraculous and make a wish. We don't know what the wish is, we'll never know what the wish is, but yeah. And it happened again. So now, going back in time, Ladybug is trying to find this villain. And we do get other scenes that are actually pretty neat. This is basically the same place what happened earlier in the special, basically. Later on, we'll see like the final confrontation between Ladybug and gabrielagreste. And then we'll have some new scenes. And we're going to be talking about new scenes, all things considered, because for one thing, any new context we see from this, there is no new context. It's just that they might have added some slight animations just in these scenes so it can fall in line with everything. But I might look back possibly to the previous, like the season finale, just to see if the puff of smoke in this scene specifically was visible. If not, then they just added it in, but it was a nice touch, honestly. It's almost exactly the same from the beginning of season 5's premiere, which is actually pretty neat. I like it how they reference it. Okay, so after that, we do get a new scene here, and it's Natalie pointing a crossbow at a Ladybug. And yes, I was correct from the previous statement, and I think everybody, some people would already know that she was actually going to shoot Gabriel in the hearts, possibly, or the head. I mean, anything she wants, with an actual arrow. Let that sink in. If this wasn't a kids show, and if this wasn't a kids show, we would have definitely see a death right now, like an actual somebody got shot to death thing, and like that's gonna be pretty hardcore, honestly. But I guess in a good way we don't. But here's the thing, she had this crossbow before, and she was pretty sick. We didn't actually see Natalie appear in after she got up and got the crossbow and ready to fight Gabriel. No, here's the thing. Now I remember now, she did, but then she didn't. I think somebody has changed the timeline, and I actually noticed it now. Oh no. But either way, we got their two confrontation, and you just kind of talk to each other about everything that happened and so on and so forth. And then everything was revealed to Ladybug here, that for one thing, she was an accomplice, which I think Ladybug already knows from the previous known Ladybug thing, the season finale of season 5. I'm not gonna repeat it, but there's no other words for me to say it. But after that, she did tell Ladybug that Kakami's mother was a thing, and that was accomplice, yada yada yada. And then the solid confinement, or is it the isolation solid confinement? I don't know my words. I'm actually speaking a little loud, so I do apologize. But Jesus, I just don't know. But just to say, everything has been revealed. That's about it. Now going back in time, possibly out of earshot and out of eyesight, Ladybug starts to fight this person who is actually here. You know, the time jumper that we saw much earlier in the special. It was a pretty good fight, but then they escaped, but at least they didn't take information here. Unfortunately, they're gonna try again, going a little bit further forward in time just to get more information. Because the person that was actually spying on them knew everything, knew the identities of everybody, and know the identity of Ladybug. But she had to write in a notebook. And I mention this right now because I'm not gonna explain it later, because I explained it earlier. Yeah. We do get a new moment in time, and this has never been shown. This is the newest scene right here. And it's basically where all the secrets have been revealed, as I said before. And of course, we do have the little talk about, is telling the truth necessary for Adrian, right? And all that stuff. Yeah. Also, here's the thing. If Ladybug ever did make the wish, she would have done something for Adrian, right? Just the cure Natalie, make Adrian's life better by sacrificing her own life, which is not much different from HawkMoth, all things considered, because it's kind of in a way a selfish wish, but it does good because so on and so forth. And Gabriel did have a change of heart at the very end because he sees the error of his ways. But that's assuming that Ladybug meant that right then and there, because she says this like she was planning on this if she really wanted to, which says a few things. But the economies are free, and that's about it. But of course, behind this table, you see that the time spy is actually behind there. And then they have a little, I guess technically a fight. It's not exactly a fight. It was just basically like Marinette's arm popping in through the hole, trying to get the notebook, basically, or the person. They did succeed, but then they escaped. Now we get to the part where it's the very beginning of the special. Marinette's Ladybug here, walking down the stairs of the solitary confinement. There, I got it correct. And basically tried to free the people. Here's the thing though, when Ladybug actually saw all this, she noticed that the lights were always on, but once she left, she got inside, the lights were off, meaning that the lights were off until a person was there. So meaning that this light here was always on, meaning that time spy was always there the entire time. How? Interesting question, because I don't know. Now here's the thing, this is Adrian's confinement cell. She was going to open it first, but then she got to try to find Kagami first because she's not ready to tell him everything. And that's why we got to talk to Adrian later. But, of course, the time spy is just nearby. And of course, just to let you guys know, she was taking notes, right? But of course, she got captured by our Ladybug, and basically a fight ensues. At the end of it, basically it was a kind of stressful fight for her because she has to get the notebook. And the thing is that she got it, and with the lucky charm of hand sanitizer and using a Q-tip that she actually got throughout, like a little bit to the past where she actually got the past Miraculous at, she actually used the Q-tip to erase the majority of, well, not exactly the majority, just the most important thing. Ladybug is Marinette Du Peng Chang. And of course, Ladybug, while doing this, she uses that to erase the ink that was on that paper and then forge it. And then we actually got some very good choreography in the ensuing continuation of the fight, where Ladybug basically tries to make seem like it was an actual fight, that she's trying to get the notebook away from this person, which was very convincing. Then she lost the notebook and got her ass kicked. But it was all according to plan, and now they wait because time technically did end. They cannot actually return anymore. It's up to the forgery that she did. We gone back to the time spy, which I would say it is Lila. And she read the notebook, and she starts to have a mental breakdown because she doesn't understand why her akumatized self wrote that Ladybug is gabrielagreste, because gabrielagreste is dead, yada yada yada. She has a mental breakdown because of the paradox, and yeah. Problem solved, honestly. And then we have our final goodbyes, basically, and then Ladybug uses Miraculous Ladybugs, or just like, I think it's like Miraculous Lady Noir, or like Lady Cats, I think. God, because it's a bit different. Don't understand why, although I think that she said it a different way. I cannot tell, because I'm actually mixing up one section of another. Jeez. And I'm trying to rush this here because it's kind of, there's a lot of things to talk about, but also not a lot of things to talk about. It's really strange, all things considered. But yeah, saying goodbye. The Miraculous, don't worry, she de-transforms while being inside the Miraculous Ladybugs. The earrings gone back to their respectful time, which is the season 1 finale, and she went to her present time and she has a Miraculous back, so don't worry. And this is where we get the idea. So if you guys remember from the season 5 finale that all the superheroes are assembled and they all have their respective Miraculous, this is why. Because of this, she noticed that having all these Miraculous together, because it's the Guardian's duty and the Guardian's policy to have all the Miraculous together under one person, she realized that that was a very bad idea. So she's got to return all the Miraculous in their new ring counterfeits. Now they're rings, unfortunately, not jewelry, which is, I guess, good for some of them, but now they're rings. I guess technically a bit more easier. But they're all going to go back to their normal owners. Their owners that they were assigned to before. Because first off, them being separate is a very good idea, because at least that person has to hunt all of them down. But the second thing that's good is because friendship is magic, friendship is power. But yeah, pretty much. And of course, Plague goes back to Adrian, as you all know. And then we end the episode with a heartwarming, well, first depressing, then heartwarming scene where basically they both comfort each other, because Adrian wants to just talk to Ladybug about something, that what she heard from her as Adrian. And then Ladybug wants to tell CatNoir the truth that she didn't tell anybody, but They just can't, because it's a secret that they cannot really say for the betterment of everybody. And we are back to where Season 3 ended and Season 4 ended. Season 4's lesson of basically truth and lies does not matter. Jeez. And that's the end of the episode. Now, yeah, to be honest, I'm gonna say this. So, as I said before, and I'm gonna make this quick, this special takes place in between, in specifically the part 2 of the season finale, the very ending of the wish that Gabriel made and the time skip to the Paris Utopia. Now, this was a very good like supplementary material, as we now have context as to why that little thing in the time skip happened, why it happened, why all the heroes have the Miraculouses now, and why Natalie is normal, and why Emily is there. It's all in this context right here. And of course, we now know what happened to Lila. And I'm gonna say this outright right now. Lila, if this is truly Lila, and I am 90% sure that it is Lila. I just pressed the space bar for some reason. If it's Lila, that means this is the Lila from Season 6 going into the past to Season 5, just to, you know, get all the stuff here and then move back forward to basically the utopian Paris, right? Now, I'm gonna say this, and it's one thing: when a person gets akumatized and when they revert back to normal, they don't remember a thing. This would have been fine, but now there is a big loophole. If this is truly Lila, and I'm assuming 90% sure that it is, she should have remembered it, because throughout the other times, Chloe remembers about her akumatization and remembers what happens in it. Gabriel remembers what happens to it. Lila remembers what happens to it multiple times. So unless that she is a stronger variant, because she has the Moth Miraculous, the Butterfly Miraculous. If she is a stronger version, if she is strong enough to actually do something like that, have amnesia, that makes sense, but it's never been explained. So I'm going off of the old rules and the old context that we got. It's a continuity error for now, or it could be a retcon. It's not a retcon because this happened to other people. I just don't know why it's like this now. I'm just very confused and it's hurting my brain. But yeah, other than that, it's alright. Because of that one big loophole, it just kind of demolishes like anything that this could happen, because either Lila is just too dumb or she's too strong, and I don't know which one is better. But yeah, unless this is a normal random person that happens to know Lila, maybe. But I'm assuming not, because she still is pretty evil, so I'm assuming it is Lila. Now, as for everything else, Marinette not telling the truth, we saw this multiple times already, specifically in Season 4. The lesson has not been learned. Maybe. Okay, to be honest, Season 4, it didn't really touch upon Marinette's side, so technically speaking, Marinette never actually learned this fully. It's the side characters that learned this fully. I guess now it's Marinette's turn to know the consequences of her lies. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. And yeah, consequences, Season 6 possibly, because this is more like a continuation. This is not like its separate thing, right? Now, let's get to the main point here, which is about this special specifically. And I'm gonna say this right now, and this is gonna be in the video. But if you're just here to know my thoughts and opinions on this special, here they are right now. For one thing, I do like this special really much. It is very emotional. I do kind of wish there was a bit more action, but that's just me. It's fine as it is. It's a very good supplementary like filler for what happened in the time skip of Season 5's finale. What pisses me off is the inconsistency of this 90% Lila does not remember anything. And of course, the inconsistency that Natalie was knocked off. she didn't just zipline down, so I'm just as confused as you are, if I'm remembering correctly. And of course, the lie that Marinette did, because it undermines the lessons that was learned in Season 4. I can't believe it. People are right. They just don't know what they're writing. I'm just kidding. They know what they were doing. I think it was just I think it was a minor oversight, which kind of harmed the rest of the thing. But honestly, for me, I think it's fine. I really like it. It's fine. If anything, this is technically the weakest out of the specials, in my opinion. Like, there's only 4 world specials, not counting the movie. I'm not counting the movie, but like, these 4 world specials, this is the weakest one because there's not much action, which I usually like to watch Miraculous for the action. It is super emotional, which I do like, so it has that little high stakes bar, which is a bit more better than Shanghai, but for me personally, not enough action. That's kind of the only thing, so I do apologize if you guys like it. It is the weakest for me. Now, that's about it. And that's about it for this special of my review. If you want to hear me talk about more, and I'm specifically going to be talking about the writing and the animation specifically, stick around. If not, just, just hop off the video. So, if you are still here, thank you. And here we go. So the thing is that my biggest question is, since the animation did change a tiny bit, it was much better than the other world specials, believe it or not. And it is better than the season 5 finale. Even this, you can see that the season 5 finale's animation and this special's animation is different in terms of the texture, the lighting, the shadows, all that stuff, and the physics too. Hair physics, which I technically think might be a nerf from season 5, if you know what I mean. But either way, the thing is that the animation being improved here is good. It's much more better. I do appreciate it, and it's been rumored that this is the animation that we might get through season 6. I'm not getting hopes up right now, and do not quote me on this, but the rumor has, or speculation of this thing, that the animation is going to be at least in this quality or the season 5 finale's quality, because Disney is going a little bit more heavy on his influence on this show, which is good, but it could also be a bit bad, because we all know what happened when Disney wrote their own shows. Some of them were bangers, because, they did have no meddling over it, or it could be bad, because they have so much meddling over it. And I think Miraculous might be in that point where they're gonna be overlooked, more like in the shadow of Disney, because it is popular, it's a kids show. They're going to push it to a maybe possibly more negative side, because it's popular. It might go the same route as the Owl House, all things considered, considering what actually happens here. But here's the thing. Now, the writing in this episode is very good, but I mean, it's much more better than anything that is current and the first half of season 5. Second half of season 5 had very good writing, which is basically on par with this, which is actually pretty good, in my opinion. But here's the thing. Knowing that the Disney team is going to be the head honchos on the writing of this show, as rumors have it, because season 6, this could be a test for season 6, which I can actually see that some of that Disney drama in there, like how the Disney drama formula is in there, which is actually there, and they actually do a pretty good job. Now, unless this is the actual original writers from like the previous seasons, the old seasons, they actually really did improve, and this was their final hurrah, possibly. Unless, of course, the rumors were wrong about Disney being the new writers. I don't know. But, yeah, I am hopeful that it will be okay. The only problem is maybe the direction on how this episode went. And I could say it was all Disney's fault, right? But I'm not going to say so much because, again, what I'm talking about here is just speculations from other people that I heard of. And as much I can tell, I can see some bit here, but possibly not. I apologize for that little sound there. But yeah, that's about it for this video. And that's my thoughts and feelings and the little thing that I noticed for the animation and possibly writing. I could be wrong with the writing part. I could be absolutely wrong because it is just rumor and speculation, but hey, it is what it is. Either way, my name is Po, and I definitely cannot wait for season 6. I cannot wait for season 6 because the way season 5 ended, I'm actually really interested in where we're gonna hop in, right? Because we have the time skip. Are we gonna start at the time skip? Or right directly after this special? Listen, if it's gonna be after this special, that's like the worst thing they could have done, because they had to watch the special, which is very, very much a special event. It's not like something they're gonna do a rerun on. But yeah. Oh yeah, a score. Overall, for the Miraculous special specifically, 6 out of 10. I'm just very pissed that they got one inconsistency wrong. I think that's a double negative, huh? You know what I mean.